I want to thank Young Harris for coming to play us. Jeremy Courier is a very good friend of mine. We kind of come from almost the same tree a little bit. One of my mentors and his mentor is a guy named Dave Davis. Dave Davis was a great D2 coach at Pfeiffer, very, very innovative basketball mind, was a head coach at Newberry for a long time, coached with me at Charleston, my first year at the College of Charleston, and then 2 years at Winthrop, and was a part of several championship teams, just a world-class person. And a lot of what we do philosophically comes from Dave Davis, and a lot of what Jeremy does comes from Dave Davis. So I want to make sure I acknowledge him because he's had a major impact on our life. Jeremy's a phenomenal coach, brilliant guy, and so I want to acknowledge them first and foremost. I thought it was great to be out there with the lights on. I told Josh, I've coached hundreds and hundreds of games as a head coach. And I've coached in a bunch of NCAA tournaments, things like that. This preparation today, these hours leading up to this game, might be the most nervous I've been as a head coach. I'm just being honest. It was just a culmination of a crazy 7 months or so, and just to be out there for the first time, standing on those sidelines was so nice. The ovation that we got when we came out, our guys, jumped on them from the tip. Banged a bunch of threes in the first half. They were really guarding, played really hard, and got us off to a great start.
Questions for Coach? Raise your hand.
Hey, Pat. When you said you were nervous before the game, did you do anything in particular to kind of set yourself at ease, or was it just kind of constantly prepping like you did in the Bahamas?
Yeah, I do. My routine is after shoot around, I just basically go into a hole. And the funny thing is, you just get so accustomed to what you've done for so long. I was totally out of sorts today because just trying to figure out my new routine, where I'm going to be, where I can be in private, where I'm going to get a shower. I tried to turn the water on. It took like 30 minutes for the shower to get hot. So I found out that the one next to it is the one that gets hot quicker. That's the stuff you don't know. I usually get my pregame meal after shoot around. And pregame meals at the Kieber Center, not here. So I was all messed up. So it was just my whole routine was different. But I have a very good sense of how things are going to be next week. And I really appreciate the guys here at the Yum Center that busted their tail to try to get the water right in the locker room. They operate with excellence, as does our administration as well.
You guys shot 78 shots tonight, 56 of them were three-pointers. Is that a volume that we should be getting more used to?
We don't talk about shooting threes. Everybody talks about we really value the three-point shot. I value the three-point shot because it's an efficient shot, points per shot. Our major focus is on playing off the attack, right? Playing off the attack, and then threes kind of present themselves. If we touch the paint, we attack the rim, we put foul pressure on the defense, and threes present themselves. Our guys gave up good for great. We say hunting great in terms of great shots. Those are getting to the free throw line, finishing at the rim, and kicking for threes. And I just thought the guys played so selflessly for the majority of the game. I mean, we had 18 assists, 1 turnover at half, ended the game with 27 assists, turned the ball over a little bit too much in the second half. But, ran hard, got the spates, and guys made really selfish plays, finding open shooters, and guys stepped up and knocked them down.
Pat, you talked about the 18-1. You talked about the 18-1 in the first half, ball movement. Can you just kind of speak on what you thought of the ball movement and how the guys were doing it?
Yeah, I thought the ball was popping. We starts with our transition, with our pace, how our guys sprinted to the corners. The floor was really open. I thought our pace was good. I thought we were really playing downhill, attacking the paint. And, you see a couple go in, the crowd gets into it, which was awesome, and then they start flowing a little bit. They obviously weren't as nervous as I was. No, I'm not really surprised, just because that's the type of players that they are. You know, we have a lot of guys with very good assist rate. I always say the back of their bubblegum card says that. You know, so that's we value that in recruiting. You know, guys that make people around them better, and we got a roster full of guys that do that. And you know, you saw it in the Bahamas, and obviously tonight. So I was proud of our guys. I thought they played very connected, shared the ball, and you know, happy to come away with a victory.
Yeah, a couple things. One, for those of us not familiar with your vocabulary, what is the difference between a kill and a stop?
Okay, so a lot of college programs utilize the kill terminology. So a kill is 3 stops in a row. A stop is they miss, you don't foul in the possession, and they don't get an offensive rebound. Okay, so you got to get a stop. You got to make a miss. They cannot get a second shot, and they can't foul. And if you do that 3 times in a row, that equals a kill. And the goal is to get 7 kills in the game.
Okay.
It's hard to do.
All right. The follow-up is regards your three-point shooting. Your first year at Charleston, your team took 38% of its shots from 3. Your last year was 47. Tonight it was 72. Just an aberration, or the opponent? What goes into that?
Probably an aberration. They really packed it in. You know, Jeremy's philosophy. I mean, he was probably worried about a lot of stuff because we have a very talented offensive team. I mean, they were going under on a lot of pick and rolls and daring us to shoot behind them, and we step up and knock those down. They were super help-oriented when we drove, so the kicks were there. And our guys were simply doing what the game told them. And when they drew 2 and when the help came, they sprayed it, got open shots. It was good. It looked like a connected offensive unit. I thought our offensive rebounding was good. I think we finished the game getting 42% of our misses. I think we were 55% in the first half. Best in the country get like 39%. So our goal is always somewhere around there. Went down a little bit in the second half. I thought we cleaned up our defensive rebounding in the second half. They finished at 30%, but they were up in the mid 30s for most of the early second half. So, you know, those speak to physicality, speak to toughness, they speak to tenacity. Jeremy's teams always play hard. I loved those 2 walk-ons at the end of the game, putting their teeth on that loose ball over there in the corner, and our bench just went nuts. That speaks to culture. You know, Kenai Roos. Kenai didn't play well in the first half, but I heard his voice constantly throughout the game. You know, Chucky Hepburn, like, you know, I liked our bench, the bench decorum, the bench culture today. You know, guys, when they were coming out of the game, there was GBT on the sideline. We call that great basketball talk. So I was a little mad at my man Spencer Legg, because when those guys went over and ate the loose ball, he didn't run over and pick them up. That stuff drives me nuts. But Spank's a big part of our team, prepares us every single day. He was with us at Charleston, great scout team guy. It all matters, 25 strong. You know, if it's the last 30 seconds of the game and there's a loose ball, you stink and eat it, and that's what Aiden and what Cole did.
Coach, if you could just talk about your defense, especially in the first half. It seemed like your defense was doing a great job of limiting the passing. You were basically forcing Young Harris to score off one-on-one offense rather than, you know, kick to get those assist numbers. I think they only had 2 assists in the first half. Can you just talk about your defensive philosophy with that?
Well, they are a phenomenal attacking driving team. If you applied their stats to Division I, they would be number 1 in the country in free throw attempt per field goal attempt. So number 35 had 187 free throws last year. Number 20 had 161, and number 12 had 170. Like, that's off the charts. And Jeremy does a great job of putting them in isolation situations, and it's hard to deal with. So we talked about having them play in crowds, really guard the ball, and defend without fouling. And in the first half, we were great at it. They didn't even get in the bonus. There was a whistle in the last 30 seconds of the first half, and they had to do a sideline out of bounds. Like that's proud of our guys for attention to detail in that. And then I thought we got a little careless in the second half and started fouling a little bit more. I think you're right. I think like in the first half, our ball pressure was good, which forced them maybe to go one-on-one more. I thought they were able to pepper the ball around a little bit more in the second half, and it allowed them to get a little bit more comfortable.
One other question, just in regards to basically anybody who was getting a defensive rebound initiated the offense, and just basically everybody else would run out from there. Like, what advantage does that give you in transition?
I just think that makes you really hard to guard in transition. We let our 1 through 5 push the ball. There's some exceptions, but James Scott, the 5-man, or if you want to call him a 5, we don't really call it a 5, we call it a hub. It rebounds, push the breaks, advance passes. Just transition offense. Playing fast sounds fun, but it's hard, right? It's the cumulative effect of running the floor to our standard for the entire game, even when fatigue seeps in, is one of the ways that we think we wear opponents down. But yeah, 1 through 5 pushing the ball, I think it makes you faster, makes you more dangerous in transition.
Pat, I think after one of Terrence's threes in the first half timeout, the crowd really started getting into it, and he was pumping them up. You talked about looking forward to coaching in this environment, just getting to experience like that moment in
awesome.
itself. Is that what you've been looking forward to?
It was awesome. I think the crowd really, really appreciated how we were playing. Guys were playing hard as heck. They were sharing the ball, were banging shots. It was exciting. And it was the first time I heard the Yum roar. What do they call it in Augusta National? The Tiger roar? The Yum roar. I'm down for it. I'm hoping to have plenty more as we move forward here, but that was a really cool moment.
Pat, Rain was the first guy right after you got the job to commit and just to be a part of this, and for him, he makes it look so easy. It's just like it comes natural, and it's like a free throw almost to him standing behind the line.
He's a winner. Cat's a winner. You can't. People mistake sometimes. They think he's like, Skip Prosser used to call him suburban jump shooters. Like, that's not Rain. Like, that's his deal, and he shoots the blood out of the ball, but, like, he's tough as nails. And he's on every single scouting report. He's exactly where he needs to be at all times. Like, it's almost like having another assistant coach, just because he knows what we do and how we do it so well. Selfless. He's a team dude. It's a shame I only get to coach him for one more year because he's a joy.
Considering how Kaysen played during the summer on your all's trip is kind of a quiet night for him, was there anything that they did to kind of take him out of the game, or did you just think that shots weren't falling for him tonight?
No, I thought he did a good job. Thought he played well.